The voice on the speaker didn't match anyone who worked that night, and yet it knew my name. It was a rainy Tuesday night, the kind of cold, lonely shift that drags on forever. I was working the late shift at a 24-hour McDonald's in Ohio. We barely had any customers past 2 a.m., but corporate made us keep the drive-thru open. Around 3:10 a.m., a car pulled up to the speaker. I jumped a bit. I hadn't heard anything for over an hour. I leaned into the mic. "Hi, welcome to McDonald's, what can I get you?" There was static at first, then a voice. But it wasn't a normal voice. It was low, raspy, male. It said, "You already know what I want." I thought it was a prank. I laughed and said, "All right, try me." The voice replied, "2 McChickens, medium fries, Coke, no ice." My blood ran cold. That's exactly what I ordered for lunch, that I had ordered. I hadn't told anyone. "Who is this?" I asked. Silence. Then, I heard something that made my stomach twist. The speaker crackled again. "I'll see you soon, Jenny. That's my name." But I wasn't wearing a name tag. No one else was in the building with me. My coworker had gone home sick hours ago. I looked at the monitor. Nothing. No car. No headlights. Just darkness. I stepped outside and checked the drive-thru lane. Empty. No tire tracks. No engine noise. But the speaker was still on. I heard shallow breathing. Then it cut off. I ran back inside and locked the doors. Security footage from that time showed no car, but for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the speaker activated by itself. Audio picked up a voice, but the system glitched every time it spoke. I quit a week later. I still get blocked calls at 3:10 a.m. sharp, and once I picked up. The voice said, "You forgot my fries." She never blinked, not once, even when she crawled into the slide. This happened in 2014, when I was 17. I had just started working part-time at a McDonald's in a quiet suburb. It wasn't anything special, small place, mostly families and high school kids. But we had one thing that made our location stand out, a giant indoor play place. If you've ever seen one of those old plastic jungle gyms with colored tubes, net bridges, and that big twisty slide, you know what I mean. It took up almost half the dining area, sealed off with those mesh walls. Most nights were chill, but this one still messes with my head. It was a Friday night, close to midnight, almost closing time. The store was dead quiet. Kitchen was clean, floors mopped. Me, my manager Joe, and one line cook were just waiting for the clock to hit 12. That's when I saw her. She was sitting alone in one of the booths near the play place. I hadn't even noticed her come in. She didn't have any food in front of her, no drink, no bag, no phone, just sitting there. She looked around 30 or so, with pale skin and long black hair that completely covered the sides of her face. She wore this faded beige sweater that looked old, like something from a thrift store that hadn't been washed. She wasn't doing anything, just staring into the play place, not watching it like a normal person would, more like she was waiting for something. I whispered to Joe, "Did she order anything?" He looked over and frowned. "No, she just sat down 10 minutes ago. I thought she was waiting for someone, but no one ever came." At around 11:50, the line cook, Kyle, pointed and said, "Yo, where'd she go?" We all looked. The booth was empty. At first we figured she must have left, but none of us heard the door chime. I walked over to check. Her booth was totally still. No trash, no tray, no signs anyone had been sitting there. But I noticed something. The play place entrance, that round plastic tunnel at the bottom, was slightly swaying, like someone had just crawled in. That's when I heard it. Thump. A soft, hollow thud coming from inside the tubes. Then another, and another. Slow, steady, like someone crawling on their elbows. I crouched down and called out, "Ma'am, the play place is closed. It's not safe at night." No reply, just silence. I turned on my phone flashlight and leaned into the plastic tunnel. It smelled musty. I scanned the inside. Nothing but colored plastic, curves and shadows. Then I noticed it. Fingerprints. Long, smeared, greasy prints on the inside wall of the tube. Like someone had been dragging their hands, not crawling with palms, but clawing along the side. I slowly stood up, heart racing a little. And that's when I turned around. And froze. She was back, sitting in the booth again, same place, same posture, same blank stare. I hadn't heard the door, none of us had, but there she was, like she'd never moved. I took a step back and asked, "Ma'am, are you okay?" She didn't answer, she just smiled, not like a friendly smile. It was small, tight, like someone holding in a secret, or like she knew something the rest of us didn't. I ran to the back and got Joe, but when he came out, she was gone. Again, the door never chimed. We checked outside. Nothing. The next morning, Joe checked the security footage. We watched it together. At 11:48 p.m., the woman stands up and walks into the play place tunnel. She disappears into the plastic and never comes out. But here's where it gets worse. At 11:49, the camera glitches, freezes for 32 seconds. When it comes back, she's sitting in the booth again. Same spot, no movement, just appears. No door opens, no one walks. She's just there. And then she smiles. We were all creeped out. Joe even called corporate, but they said the footage must have been corrupted. They didn't want us talking about it. A month later, the play place was torn down. They said it was unsafe for kids, but between you and me, they just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I haven't seen her since, but some nights, when I can't sleep, I dream of that tunnel, that twisting, dark slide, and I swear, I hear her nails scraping against the plastic, getting closer, not crawling out, but waiting. They found the food still cooking, the lights on, but no one was inside. Yes. This happened in a small town in Montana. A 24-hour McDonald's shut down overnight for the first time in years. No warning, no notice, just closed. Entire staff gone. I lived nearby and remember seeing the lights on at 2 a.m. that night as I drove past. Nothing seemed off. But by morning, the parking lot was empty, doors locked. Later that day, police arrived. Inside, they found food half prepped on the line, fryers still warm, one of the registers open, but not a single person. The overnight manager, 2 cooks and a janitor, all vanished. No struggle, no signs of forced entry. But the weirdest thing, all their phones were found in the back office, stacked, neatly, on top of a closed Happy Meal box. Inside that box, an old weathered toy, one of those creepy McNugget guys from the 90s, except it had no eyes, just hollow sockets. Cameras? Footage glitched out from 2:13 a.m. to 2:27 a.m. When it comes back, the restaurant is empty. Fryers bubbling, lights flickering. In the background, just for a second, you can see a tall shadow behind the counter. It moves, but no one's near it. 2 weeks later, corporate cleared out the building, took everything. The official story? Electrical fire caused a malfunction. Store permanently closed. But locals still talk about it. And sometimes, when people drive by late at night, they swear they see movement inside, like someone's still working the line, cooking food for no one, waiting.